Pro Wrestling Commentary with Roman Pearson Jr.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot you had some wood in your mouth.
All right, you go.
Welcome back to Best Pro Wrestling Commentary. I'm Junior, here with my colleague Roman Pierce, and we're here to break down Hell in a Cell and Raw. So, without further ado, of course, the internet's buzzing with the news of Alberto Del Rio coming back. So, what do you think of that?
God, but on this, you know what? I wasn't surprised in a sense. Just
All right,
because,
come on. Don't act like you knew that was coming.
I mean, I read an article, online, and it stated that, WWE apologized to him. He was doing big things with American
AAA or
Combativo and all that stuff. MMA turning down a bunch of big gigs. To see him back, I'm not surprised. Come on, they got this whole racial scandal going on. So, of course, the WWE wants to save face value, and they're going to bring back the Mexican, soon-to-be World Heavyweight WWE Champion.
So you're being cynical.
Campeón.
You don't think they saw him as a big star they can promote? I know I've read before they want to branch out more into Mexico, and he's like a massive star in Mexico. AAA, CMLL, so.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not being cynical. I think I'm being logical. And the thing is that, yes, he's a big star. He was a big star in the WWE. He was a big star prior to coming to America. I mean, he was a Pan-American champion. He's already MMA former. He has a record.
He has a record?
He has a record. Yeah, like your uppercut. But what I'm saying is when he left the WWE, he became an even bigger star.
Yeah.
So obviously, there was money there. Just like CM Punk, same formula.
Being with WWE, obviously, that biggest top dog, that's it. Top dog of the wrestling business, so.
Let the dogs out.
Just like look at
WWE did apparently.
On a smaller scale, with NXT, you see James Storm. He made his debut in NXT. So, and I'm happy for him because he grew up as a wrestling fan, been in the business for years. I'm glad to finally see him in the like the cream of the crop when it comes to wrestling business. So I hope to see big things from him. But like you said, Alberto Del Rio, that being in the WWE has only helped him with his popularity.
And you know what's funny? It's almost like there's a formula in the WWE where you have good talent and they get into it with the corporate or whoever it is behind the scenes, whether it's Triple H or Vince McMahon or Stephanie or whatnot, and they end up leaving, and all of a sudden their popularity rise. I'm not going to say that happens for everybody. It didn't happen to Drew McIntyre, although he did become the champ for TNA for a while there.
But I mean, don't disrespect the TNA because they have great talent there. But
hey, Tana, I know how to spell it. Tana.
But if you think about it, I mean, champ at TNA compared to Intercontinental champ in WWE, who's going to get more exposure?
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying it seems like there's a formula. Like, for instance, the CM Punk formula. He was a great superstar in the Indies, great superstar in WWE, became an even bigger superstar towards the end of his career. And
after the pipe bomb. And
now that he's with the UFC, hopefully successful, he's going to come back and be an even bigger star. So it's almost like the WWE. I wonder if in the back of their mind they look at it like, hey, you know what? Conflict's a good thing because we can always bring him back. And they know that. There's a formula that they know.
And honestly, like I said, I never thought... When he said when Zeb Coulter came out, I thought it was gonna be Jack Swagger. I was like, oh man, that would have been a letdown because they built it up to have an open challenge on the pay-per-view, so I knew it has to be someone big. But when he came out, I was like, oh man. But when he was like Alberto Del Rio, I was like, I was not expecting that, honestly.
So what do you think about the whole, hooking him up with one of his, arch enemies and the whole Mexi America?
I like that. It's the whole unity thing. I like that. I can't argue with that.
But do you think that's because the WWE doesn't want to be seen anymore since they're corporate now as this company with a racial issue? You see more, I guess, minorities coming up in the ranks, which is a good thing. We still haven't seen a African American World Heavyweight WWE champion.
I will say The Rock is half black, half Samoan. I don't know why people forget that.
Always promoted as Samoan though.
But he gladly acknowledges both his heritages, his black heritage and his Samoan heritage. And honestly, because Samoans have a big history in wrestling. So that's probably why.
That's similar to our president, who is half white and half Samoan also.
Half white and half black, but let's not get into politics. Another thing in Hell in a Cell that stuck out to me would have been the Reigns and Bray Wyatt match. So that came to an end. Although I was kind of, I don't know, there was a part of me expecting like Dean Ambrose to pull a backstab on him, on Reigns.
Why?
I don't know why, because Dean Ambrose had nothing to do, and I don't know. I'm still wondering with this whole Reigns as the #1 contender, if not Dean Ambrose is gonna turn heel in the next couple months, like that'll be a storyline as well.
Honestly, you know what the thing is that ever since the Shield broke up with Seth backstabbing him, you're absolutely right. It's like Dean Ambrose is kind of piggy-tailed onto the Roman Reigns situation. Even though he's had his own things going on, it's still kind of like he's just there floating, It's just
And
like,
the thing is, Ambrose is the best talker out of all three of those guys.
yeah.
He's the mouthpiece of the Shield. I mean, he's the best on the mic, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is. You know, Seth Rollins, what you can say about him,
Yeah.
he's got his laughing. He's good. He's a good talker also, but it's just not.
He's a good bad guy, that's for sure.
Well, the way they book him isn't very fair. He's the weasel all the time. It doesn't make sense. But hopefully they'll change that eventually. Maybe they'll watch our program. We'll see.
Yes, of course, please watch. Honestly, I know Kane losing is probably best for business, but there was a part of me that kind of wanted him to see him as champ because the man's been such a great worker for all these years. But I can understand why you don't want to have a veteran constantly going over the newer guy.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll see what happens with Kane. I do like the fact that he came back and got beaten up by the Wyatt. That's fresh, and I hope that they don't ruin that.
Yeah, because after the Lesnar-Taker match, I was not expecting the Wyatts to come out.
No, I wasn't. I thought that he was just going to come back on Monday Night Raw and then retire and then come back for Dallas, Texas, WrestleMania later in April of next year. But that was good, and it's fresh. You know, there's also an article online saying that the Undertaker, you know, is open to working more matches this year.
But you notice this year, 2015, he's worked more than he has since, let's see, he hasn't been a full-time wrestler since 2010.
That's true.
So ever since 2010, he's only appeared, done his match at WrestleMania, and that's it.
Well,
then you don't see him for another WrestleMania season.
Well, on another token, when you're married to Michelle McCool, you know, you have to.
I would stay home more too, but
Me too.
that's a good point. Good, fair point. But I'll be honest, because I'm assuming WrestleMania 32 is going to be his retirement match. I will probably cry just because he's been such a big part of my childhood. Laugh all you want, but the man's been around since I was a kid. Think about it, people. This is a man who fought Ultimate Warrior in his prime, who fought Hogan in his prime. This man feuded with Jake the Snake.
He fought who?
Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I'm saying it. Hulk Hogan.
Who's that?
Bring him back, WWE. He served his time.
I feel bad for Axelmania is what I feel bad for.
I know. He was actually getting traction there.
Finally. So what other match did you see? You know, we're spilling over on the Brock Lesnar, you know, Undertaker match. And
actually, what I like about the Brock Lesnar Taker match, now that feud's over, I'm kind of...
We like the blood.
Very much so. I think they put on great matches. Well, Lesnar's a great. I mean, you can bash him for saying he's only in it for the money, but the man puts on a great show, and the numbers indicate it. People pay to see Brock Lesnar. He increases ratings. So I mean, I'm actually interested to see what's next for Lesnar. Who's his next feud going to be? Is it going to be The Rock, or who knows?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think Lesnar is going to return until maybe around the Royal Rumble time, when possibly maybe it will be a Rock, because Rock, you know, also online has said that he's open to working more matches.
The Rock said that?
Yeah, he said that along with The Undertaker. And I feel that's more about ratings. You know, ratings has been suffering in the past 3 weeks with the WWE. So
you think they're going back to the crap? Our ratings are low. Let's call in the big guns. Do you think they're sitting in the meeting room?
I don't think they're just there yet, but I think it's definitely in their storyboard. And I'll tell you why. Like I think Vince said in his biography where, you know, confrontation and conflict sometimes is good for the storyline, also the business. Again, 2 years from now, when again the ratings plummet, they're going to go call CM Punk and say, hey, we'll throw this much money at you, come back, it'll be crazy, WrestleMania, bam, it'll be another formula. And who knows, by then Dolph Ziggler will probably get pissed off and he'll be gone. And then when he's 50, he'll come back, WrestleMania 52. So,
now, honestly, I want to see, and maybe I'm so hoping Austin wrestles this WrestleMania, because I have a feeling, because it's the Cowboy Stadium. I mean, the greatest team in the NFL, by the way.
America's team.
Exactly. The Cowboy Stadium. It's the largest stadium, and they want. I think they want to get the 100,000 number. So I think they're going to pull out all the stops. Please, I would suggest. I mean, I read this online on lordsofpain.net. This scenario: Austin versus Cena, and then have Cena turn heel and cheat to beat Austin. I think that's an awesome scenario.
You know what's funny is that it's going to be the springboard stunner versus the actual real stunner. And what's funny about that, and this is my opinion.
Like the original song versus the sample?
There you go. So,
gotcha.
So my opinion is I think when Cena turns heel, he needs to turn heel and then bring his girlfriend with him, you know, Nikki. And then that way you'll have a heel and he's got a chick that, you know, that's cool and wrestles and that's hot. And now all of a sudden, fans already kind of dislike both of them, right?
Dude, Cena is booed in some of the arenas. I mean, he's booed out of the arena.
They're starting to see that too. So I think, well, he's getting older too, but I mean, he said it before that he cares more about an acting career. And the thing that he he may have a career, but is lacking the acting part.
But the best example, look at Hogan when he turned, because I was watching this thing on the WWE Network, $9.99, that they were showing Hogan prior to that on Nitro. When he would get his music would hit, there would be boos, there would be chants, Hogan sucks, Hogan sucks. And he was even reluctant when Bischoff said, we're going to turn you heel. He was reluctant, but it did wonders for his career in NWO. And then, of course, Charlotte retained her title. New Day retained their title. So, I mean, there's a part of me that wants to see the Dudleys do well. But the New Day, I mean, they're just getting hotter. And I can't wait for Xavier Woods to come back, hopefully with a new trombone. And I'm thinking, unfortunately, the New Day seems to have taken primetime player spot. Exactly. Unicorn for Xavier Woods. So, with that, and like I said, Ziggler, the man has tons of talent. I hope to see him with a belt one day. Cesaro, same thing. We got Owens, still the Intercontinental Champ.
Yeah.
Fight, Owens, fight! Sorry.
You know what's funny though is the fact that now you have Ziggler, fighting with his twin Tyler Breeze. It's almost like you're watching Mortal Kombat and that's his twin or his cousin or something, right? And then you got Summer Rae back in the mix.
Like Scorpio versus Sub-Zero.
Right. And I think, the two of them is going to be a good match. But, I mean, where's it going,
I don't know. I think I'm interested to see what happens there. Because Tyler Breeze is
we'll see where he goes. I think it's going to be good. But at the same time, it's almost like watching the same person fight, So we'll see where that happens. Maybe one day we'll see Ronda Rousey versus Ronda Rousey. So in closing.
Looking forward to... My biggest thing I'm looking forward to in the next few months, the storyline that develops between the Wyatts and Undertaker. So, and then Kane, now that you got Kane in the mix, they did the same thing. So, Brothers of Destruction reunion, we can only hope.
Can only hope, and we hope to see Alberto Del Rio eventually become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We wonder who he's going to feud with now because he seems like he's kind of still a heel. So who's he going to go after? Who do you think in the roster is a face that is going to try to come after his title?
Cesaro, Ziggler. Ziggler's
tied up, and Cesaro is just kind of there, but we'll see. So I hope you enjoyed Hell in a Cell. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share. For best pro wrestling commentary, I'm Roman Pierce, and he is
Junior Smith.
See you soon.
Good night.